today we are talking about one of the PlayStation Plus games for January 2020, and that game is Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection. Now, with that being said, honestly, you should probably just go download this game for many reasons. First off, you actually get 3 games in one, so you should probably just download it anyway if you're low on games to play / try. And for 2, it's just an amazing game. Like I said, it has 3 games in it, and it follows a character called Nathan Drake. Now, Nathan Drake is kind of a more modernized Indiana Jones. If you don't know who Indiana Jones is, we're gonna have a problem. Besides the point, Indiana Jones and Nathan Drake are treasure hunters. They like to get rare and potentially very expensive treasures, but there's a distinct difference. Indiana Jones wants to give them to a museum. Nathan Drake, he wants to sell them for lots and lots of money, usually. With that being said, this game has an amazing story across all 3 games. It continues, well, kind of continues the story from 1 all the way through 3, and even onto 4 and a spin-off game, but those are not included in this game. It is just Uncharted 1 through 3. With all of that praise out of the way, now let's jump into actual gameplay. Gameplay is very, very similar to Gears of War if you have played Gears of War, and for those of you who haven't played Gears of War, it is a cover-based shooter. So you press a button, roll / get into cover, and then from cover you pop up, pop people, and then go on to the next cover, or just adjust your game accordingly. In all the levels of this game, there are many places to hide, shoot from cover, shoot out in the open, just all of the above, dodging grenades, and that is essentially the whole gameplay. There are places where you have to button mash a little bit, but those are usually just quick time events, and you can also melee people. And another thing about gameplay is you are climbing. So with climbing, just as basic as getting to cover, there's usually pretty defined places where you can climb, and you climb up the side of buildings, across the side of buildings, jumping from ropes, and yeah, a lot of the gameplay is kind of like a platformer-esque type thing, but again, kind of have to kind of see it to know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a very, I guess, linear game, if you want to put it that way. Within that linear space, there are places that kind of slightly diverge, might not normally go, to pick up hidden items to complete just your collection of treasures, and that will getting different achievements throughout the game will obviously give you platinum trophies, but within the game itself, it will actually give you little cheats, or they call them tweaks, to the game to just change up the gameplay a little bit. One gives you unlimited ammo, one makes you invincible, one can have you play as different characters within the game. Just a whole bunch of fun stuff that you can do. And yeah, that is realistically it. There may be a couple driving portions, but they might not be what you expect. Again, just very controlled spaces. One time you're on a jet ski, another time you're just driving a Jeep vaguely through a city, and all that good jazz. But really just kind of besides the point. And across these 3 games, they really don't change all that much. The gameplay that I had described earlier is pretty much all that you are going to get. There are tweaks made to it to improve it over the course of those 3 games, and it's really hard to describe. I have played these games to death, and you may not notice the differences until you have at least gone through all 3 of them. The first one is fairly basic, a couple of weapons. They do have a large range of weapons, pistol, automatic rifle, shotgun, and sniper rifle. But even within those classes, they do have a limited amount of types of guns. As the games continue through 2 and 3, they add guns with a bit more character, like a China Lake and a rocket launcher, and they just add more guns. But it's essentially the same basic thing: get into cover, shoot from cover, continue. After gameplay, as I kind of mentioned already, there is obviously a story. This is really more of a story-driven game. When I first played the Uncharted games, I fell in love with the characters immediately. Not a truly story-driven game, but it is a story-heavy game. Like, a lot of the story makes you want Nathan Drake, the main character, to succeed in his mission, whatever it happens to be in that particular time and in that particular game. And as I mentioned, love all the characters, kind of a bit of a stereotypical character cast, but nonetheless did love them very, very much. And honestly, that's really kind of all I've got for the review, and all I can really tell you is if you love story-driven games or if you love Indiana Jones, you will love this game. This game holds a very special place in my heart. First off, because the first game is the game that is the first video that I actually upload to YouTube. It was gameplay of Uncharted 1, like the first 30 minutes or something like that. And so yeah, that game specifically will always hold a special place in my heart. And in case you haven't noticed, I got the collector's edition of Uncharted 3, and it came with a statue, as you can see, epic steel case, love it, and of course, well, and there's some more stuff in here as well, but nothing too drastic, but just kind of a collector's edition box as well. So, to say that I love the Uncharted games is probably selling it a bit short. Love these games, love everything about them, and I cannot urge you enough to go download these games and at least give it a try, because if you have PlayStation Plus, it is free, and you get 3 out of the 5 games that is the Uncharted series. So there's really no reason to, because if you love it, then you only have to buy 2 games, and they're readily available because they were both released on PlayStation 4. And oh, by the way, this is exclusively PlayStation game, so another good reason. With that being said, and all of my plugging and encouraging you and loving this game, definitely just go and download it. You more than likely will not be disappointed. With all that being said, as per usual, if you have any comments, questions, anything like that, feel free to hit me up in the comments section down below. I'll be there talking to you guys as much as I can, answering any questions and all that good jazz. Feel free to hit that thumbs up button, it really helps me out, and remember to subscribe and ring that little bell so you know when I post a new video and when I subscribe. Just as a reminder, my posting schedule has changed a little bit, so if you are subscribed but haven't been seeing videos or are just freaking out because I'm not posting at the usual time, and remember to ring that bell so you know exactly when I post and stream and all that good stuff. Also, feel free to follow me on social media. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It'll either be my face or the 3G Geek logo in the little avatar window or avatar like profile icon. Wow. But with all that being said, this is 3G Geek signing off.